Hi guys, today we shall discuss about Subhas Chandra Bose. Do you know who is Subhas Chandra Bose? Yes, Subhas Chandra Bose was a prominent Indian nationalist and freedom fighter who played a significant role in India's struggle for independence from British rule. Born on January 23, 1897, in Cuttack, Odisha, he was a charismatic leader and is often referred to as Netaji, which means respected leader. Bose is well known for his radical approach to achieving independence. Unlike Mahatma Gandhi, who advocated non-violence, Bose believed that armed struggle was necessary to overthrow British colonialism. He was an influential member of the Indian National Congress, but later broke away due to ideological differences. During World War II, Bose sought help from Axis powers like Germany and Japan to form the Indian National Army, INA, with the goal of liberating India. He famously declared, "Give me blood and I shall give you freedom." His efforts, though controversial, inspired many Indians. Bose's mysterious disappearance in 1945, presumed to be due to a plane crash in Taiwan, has remained a topic of intrigue, and his legacy continues to be celebrated in India today. Let's dive into the details of how Netaji built in a chronological order with respect to history dates. Subhas Chandra Bose's daring escape from British house arrest in January 1941 remains one of the most remarkable episodes in India's freedom struggle. Bose, who was under close surveillance by the British authorities, managed to escape from his residence in Calcutta, now Kolkata, to reach Kabul and eventually Germany. Here's how it happened. The planning of escape. After being placed under house arrest for his anti-British activities, Bose realized that furthering India's cause from within British-controlled India would be challenging. He decided that seeking foreign support was essential. With the help of his family and close associates, he devised an escape plan, keeping it a closely guarded secret. On the night of January 16, 1941, Bose left his Calcutta home disguised as a Muslim insurance agent named Ziauddin Khan. He shaved off his beard, wore a long brown coat, and donned large round spectacles. His nephew, Sisir Bose, drove him in a car under the cover of darkness, evading British patrols. This disguise was essential because his appearance as a well-known figure could have easily led to capture in his journey to Peshawar. Bose's journey involved traveling by train through several cities while maintaining his disguise. He traveled from Calcutta to Gomo by train, maintaining a low profile. From Gomo, he took another train and made his way toward Peshawar, near the Afghan border. During this phase of his journey, he often wore traditional Muslim clothing and avoided speaking much to avoid detection. In Peshawar, he met underground contacts who helped him prepare for the next part of his journey. Peshawar was crucial because it was close to Afghanistan, and from there he could escape British-occupied India. With the help of Akbar Shah, a trusted ally and Afghan freedom fighter, Bose crossed the rugged border into Afghanistan, an arduous and dangerous journey. This segment was particularly risky because the British closely monitored this border. Afghan guides and local contacts helped him along the way, ensuring he could pass through without being detected by British intelligence. In Kabul, Bose stayed at various safe houses while waiting for assistance to proceed further. Since Bose was still not completely safe in Kabul due to British influence in the region, he had to maintain his disguise and identity as Ziauddin Khan. In Kabul, Bose sought help from the Italian and German embassies, who arranged for his onward journey. He first traveled through Soviet-controlled Central Asia with a forged Italian passport. The Soviets, who were then allied with Germany against Britain, allowed him to transit through Moscow. After crossing into the Soviet Union, he eventually reached Germany in April 1941. In Germany, Bose received support from the Nazi government, which hoped that aiding Bose's struggle against the British Empire would weaken Britain's colonial power. He established the Free India Center in Berlin and started broadcasting nationalist messages to India via radio, encouraging Indians to rise against British rule. Netaji set up a government in exile under Nazis' government support. Yes, Subhas Chandra Bose's relationship with his wife, Emily Schenkel, and their daughter, Anita Bose, is a lesser known but touching part of his life story, showing his personal sacrifices for India's independence. Emily Schenkel, Bose's wife. During his time in Germany, Bose met Emily Schenkel, an Austrian woman, in 1934. Emily was well educated, and the two shared a deep intellectual connection. Over time, they grew closer, and despite the challenges of his political life, they married in a private ceremony in 1937. Their relationship remained largely unknown to the world, mainly because Bose's focus was always on India's freedom struggle, and he was cautious about revealing details of his personal life to protect them from scrutiny and to avoid putting them at risk. Anita Bose, their daughter. Final farewell and the farewell letter. Before embarking on his risky journey from Germany to Asia in 1943, Bose knew he might never see his family again. Before boarding the U-boat, he left Emily with a letter addressed to his family in India. In this letter, he expressed his deep love for Emily and his wish that his family in India would accept her as part of their own. Bose understood the cultural differences and the potential challenges his family might face in accepting his marriage to a European woman, but he hoped his family would embrace her and their daughter Anita after he was gone. Bose's letter conveyed the emotional burden he carried. Torn between his love for his family and his duty to his country, he chose to continue his mission, aware of the personal sacrifices involved. Emily reportedly saw him off, understanding the significance of his journey even as they said their final goodbyes. The rise of Indian National Army set up in Germany. In Berlin, Bose started the Free India Center and the Azad Hind Radio to broadcast messages to Indians and inspire the fight for independence. He met Indian prisoners of war, POWs, held by the Germans, primarily soldiers who had fought for the British Army and were captured in North Africa. Bose persuaded many of them to join his cause, believing that these men, once freed and motivated, could form the basis of an Indian army that would fight for liberation. This led to the creation of the first version of the Indian National Army, INA, though it faced many challenges in Europe. Hitler for traveling in U-boat journey and alliance with Japan. In 1943, Bose's hopes turned to Asia, where Japan's presence and resources could further his goals. Adolf Hitler, though skeptical of his plan, eventually permitted him to travel to Asia. Bose embarked on a perilous journey in a German U-boat, submarine, switching mid-sea to a Japanese submarine near Madagascar, a rare and dangerous crossing. When he reached Singapore, the Japanese, eager to weaken the British, supported his efforts to revitalize the INA. At this point, Bose took command of the INA from Rash Behari Bose, an early leader, and quickly began reorganizing and expanding the force. Formation of Azad Hind Fauj and campaign in India. In Singapore, Bose famously addressed thousands of soldiers declaring Chalo Dili, onward to Delhi, rallying them to march to India and free it from British control. He formed the Provisional Government of Free India, Azad Hind Sarkar, which was recognized by several Axis powers, giving symbolic legitimacy to his movement. With Japanese support, the INA launched an offensive through Burma, now Myanmar, into India's northeastern region, with the goal of advancing to Delhi. In 1944, the INA captured Moirang, in present-day Manipur, where Bose's forces hoisted the Indian tricolour flag, the first time the Indian flag was unfurled on Indian soil under a government claiming independence from British rule. This was a profoundly symbolic moment, igniting hope and nationalism across India. Indian National Army faces heavy challenges and final stand of Netaji in Burma. Despite the INA's initial successes, the tide of World War II began turning against Japan and the Axis powers. The British, with superior resources, countered INA's offensives as Japanese forces retreated. Faced with dwindling supplies, monsoon rains, and the larger strategic retreat of Japanese troops, the INA struggled to sustain its campaign. In 1945, with Japan's surrender imminent, INA forces were overpowered. Many INA soldiers were captured, and Bose himself narrowly escaped, reportedly aiming to regroup for further attempts. However, he tragically disappeared later that year under mysterious circumstances in a supposed plane crash in Taiwan. the legacy of Indian National Army and India's independence. Though the INA was ultimately unsuccessful militarily, its impact was profound. The British trials of INA soldiers back in India sparked massive protests and national support for Bose and his soldiers. The loyalty of Indian soldiers to the British began to waver, and many historians argue that the INA's actions influenced the British decision to finally leave India in 1947. Subhas Chandra Bose's absence during India's independence celebrations in 1947 is deeply felt in the nation's history. His dedication, courage, and vision left an indelible mark, and he remains celebrated as one of India's most iconic freedom fighters. The INA's motto, Ittihad, Itmat aur Qurbani, unity, faith, and sacrifice, continues to be a symbol of his enduring legacy. The death of Bose is unknown and never solved in the history and remain a mystery. Please wait for next video to explain each timeline how Bose escaped and reach Russia. Please like, share, and subscribe the channel. We will bring such interesting topic every day. Don't forget to click bell icon. Thank you once again and have a nice day.